Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Gerard Pratt, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Flight Lieutenant Michael Horner. We warmly welcome the family of leading aircraftsman Maxwell Dawson Raymond Berghouse, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony from across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by family, visitors and students on behalf of Canberra School for Girls from New South Wales. I invite you now to all please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. If able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops at Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through until the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where family and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to leading aircraftsman Maxwell Dawson Raymond Berghouse. Maxwell Berghouse, known as Maxie to his family and friends, was born on the 24th of December 1918 to Leon and Catherine Berghouse in the Sydney suburb of Newton. Maxwell had an older brother, John, and an identical twin brother, Raymond. Maxwell and Raymond were said to be so alike in looks that they were able to confuse friends, partners, and even family members as to their true identity. Prior to enlistment, Berghouse lived in the Sydney suburb of Como. In November 1939, Maxwell Berghouse applied to join the Royal Australian Air Force, noting in a letter that he had qualifications in maths, physics, chemistry and English that would allow him to serve as a fitter or flying officer. In other records, he stated that he had served in a local militia force, worked as an electrical and mechanical fitter, obtained a certificate from Hurstville Central Tech, and played cricket, tennis and golf. There is some difficulty in ascertaining exactly what information Berghouse supplied whilst enlisting is entirely true, because Maxwell's entrance tests to join the Air Force were actually sat by his twin brother Raymond, who the brothers considered to be better at exams. Raymond Berghouse sat the exams to join the Air Force, but the identical twin brothers were so alike that it was in fact Maxwell who eventually joined the force and fought in the war. Maxwell Berghouse joined the Air Force in April 1940 and served under his brother's name. He trained in Sydney, Ascot Vale, Amberley and Rathmines, and in November 1941 joined No. 11 Squadron. When Berghouse joined No. 11 Squadron, the unit was based in Port Moresby, from where it conducted patrols and attacks on Japanese bases off the coast of New Guinea. The squadron was at the time using Catalina flying boats, an aircraft well suited to the long-range flights required in the South Pacific Theatre. On the 24th of February 1942, Berghouse was serving as second engineer on Catalina A2413 when it took off from Port Moresby to attack Japanese aerodromes at Rabaul. Whilst undertaking this mission, the 3 Australian aircraft conducting the attack came under heavy anti-aircraft fire from Japanese warships in Rabaul Harbour. 2 of the aircraft safely returned to Port Moresby, but in the chaos and confusion of the battle, Berghouse's Catalina was not heard from again. All 8 crew were reported at the time as missing in action. Berghouse was 23 years old. It was not until 1946 that an Air Force inquiry officially declared the entire crew to have been killed in action, the aircraft likely to have crashed after being hit by the Japanese anti-aircraft defence. It was also not until after the war that Maxwell Berghouse's real name became officially recognised by the authorities, though circumstantial evidence suggests that he at least admitted his rouse to his friends and comrades. At the time of his death, Berghouse did not know that his fiancée Gloria was pregnant with their only child, Ray, who was born in July 1942 and would never meet his father. Despite many years of searching, his flying logbook was never returned to his family, seemingly lost in the confusion of that time, yet another mystery that surrounds this airman. Berghouse is commemorated on the Rabaul Memorial in Papua New Guinea, which lists over 1,200 souls of the Second World War who have no known grave. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour to my left among almost 40,000 other Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember leading aircraftsman Maxwell Dawson Raymond Berghouse, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and for the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we who are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières, or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his final moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you all for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.